Welcome back, dear viewers. Major cities across the globe invest time and energy resources to craft urban strategies. Expansive imperial research projects have proposed a shift towards a strategic framework to manage cities. This theoretical curiosity is reflected in the rising interest in urban strategy from practice. But how can this be accomplished or attached to other environmental benefits? So, dear viewers, let's all welcome Dr. Ameera Alhassan, head of the UN Habitat Mission in Kuwait and GCC countries. Good morning to you, Doctor, and welcome on Good Morning Kuwait.
Good morning to you.
Yes, we are honored actually to have you here with us today. So, Doctor, starting off, can you tell us how is the UN Habitat partnering with local governments to integrate sustainable urban planning, practices that balance economic development with environmental protection?
Actually, at Gulf states level, urbanization is taking very rapid speed. That around 99% of the cities in the Gulf area is urbanized, and that in itself impacts the environment and impacts the livable conditions of the inhabitants of cities in the Gulf. So from our part, UN Habitat supports governments and local entities in promoting sustainable urban strategies that creates a balance between economic development and environmental protection, especially in light of the climate change effect that is taking place in many regions around the world, including the Gulf states. So how do we do that? The first thing, urban governance is something that is very essential. And this is being stated in the new urban agenda that has been ratified by more than 190 countries in the Habitat Conference, including Kuwait is one of the countries that ratified this urban agenda, new urban agenda. So from our part, we support urban governance that integrates new technologies and usage of AI, for example, and usage of new laws that upgrade the resilience of the cities, and also ensure rights of and inclusive usage of the inhabitants of the cities, as well as promoting things like green energy, circle economy, and green roofs, green usage of the city's streets, for example, and pavements for the pedestrians. Group usage of the transportation, the public transportation, as well as greening. So in order to encourage pedestrians to walk in the streets, we have to promote greening of the urban public spaces in the streets. This cannot be done unless we have strategies that are implemented,
of course, especially in the wrong line, Doctor. And since you mentioned earlier climate change, so going to climate change, it is one of the most important factors that plays a huge role in what you have mentioned. So climate change possesses significant challenges, particularly in regions with extreme weather conditions like here in Kuwait. How is the UN Habitat supporting the development of resilient infrastructure here in Kuwait?
In this part of the world, the climate change impact is witnessed through the increase of the sand and dust storms in the region, and in Kuwait in particular. Many events has been taking place annually, increasing also rapidly, and the increase of the temperatures, especially the hot spots and the hot islands in urbanized areas. These factors in fact impact morbidity and mortality rate of the inhabitants of the cities. So from our part, we take measures towards upgrading and raising the awareness of both the experts, because urban experts are the ones who will deal with the actual implementation in the cities, and we raise awareness of people in general, because they need to learn what's happening and why are they, for example, witnessing illnesses that are not occurring in the past, and now
Definitely.
it's more to do with the respiratory system, for example.
Definitely.
So they need to know what kind of challenges to the health they are facing, and what kind of measures they should do in terms of planting and greening. And to do that, also we face another challenge, which is the high arid and hot climate,
Yes.
and also scarce water. So
Yes.
the water management plays a key role here
Of course.
in leveraging and uplifting the resilience of the cities.
Mm.
So how do we intervene in greening the urbanized areas, given the fact that there are factors that play a key role in successful and sustainable greening?
Definitely,
Yeah.
Doctor. Since you have mentioned greening and how it is a very, or let's say a huge role in sustainability and urbanizing, so where is Kuwait here in starting, you know, this mission or this goal and target to make a greener Kuwait, or to go ahead and walk in this path of making, you know, greening, as you have mentioned, especially mentioning the climate change and the extreme weather is here in Kuwait. So how is
how do we measure
yes,
this?
that's true.
Actually, in order to measure anything, to say anything is successful or unsuccessful, we need to, rather than using words, to use data. So data is a tool that help you identify how much success you've done or reached, and how much you need to do in order to be very successful.
Yes.
And this can be reflected through the national reports, the voluntary reports that each country and member state of the United Nations present. So in the case of Kuwait, we have received the success made in achieving the new urban agenda in Kuwait, which includes in this national report of Kuwait data around the infrastructure of Kuwait. So in terms of greening Kuwait, since 1952, Kuwait has initiated its first master plan.
Amazing.
Which includes in greening belts, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And then now in 2025, Kuwait is implementing the fourth national master plan of Kuwait. So, sorry, in this report,
Yes.
we see how much greening that authorities like the
True.
agriculture
Yes.
is implementing, and parks, for example,
Yes.
public parks, how many in each new area, how many in the old areas. We see that municipality of Kuwait, before constructing any area, they ensure a full infrastructure is
Yes.
made for the sewage system, the rainwater, drainage system, and electricity, water, all kinds of
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything. Yes. As
so,
you mentioned.
from my side, I see that there are many public parks in Kuwait that are very green, and in the new areas, plots of land are allocated.
Yes.
Only we need people to help
Actually
out.
Implement
Exactly.
the plan, as you mentioned, Doctor, earlier. That is beautifully said here, Doctor. Actually, moving on, many cities worldwide are embracing smart technologies to improve urban living. In what way is the UN Habitat working with local authorities to incorporate digital solutions and data-driven strategies into urban management?
Actually, smart cities are very important in mitigating the effect of climate change, because smart cities sometimes decrease the mobility inside the streets, for
Yes.
example, therefore decrease the emission rates in the cities. Because what we do is, instead of going to do any activities inside the city, only through smart softwares and gadgets, we can receive the same very high quality of services at a very timely manner.
Yes.
So in the case of UN Habitat, we fully and 100% promote smart cities. And in light of the new AI system and technologies that are introduced, we promote a new usage of the AI in terms of increasing the city resilience. We think that technology is important in achieving, for example, gender equality, services to the minorities in the cities, as well as the citizens and non-citizens. And we also support in not only the strategies, but placing policies and rules that protect the rights of the users of technology.
That is true.
In case of fraud, for example, in case of hacking, people services, for example, in the smart cities include financing and funding and the circle economy. So if you don't have rules and regulations that are governing these relations between the customers and users, then things will not be channeled in the right direction.
In the right direction. As you mentioned, Doctor, we would like to thank you for this informative details you have given us here, and the dear viewers. Thank you, Dr. Anwar, for being here with us, Ameera, for being here with us today. Dear viewers, Dr. Ameera Alhassan, head of the UN Habitat Mission in Kuwait and the GCC countries. So, dear viewers, moving on, Sleep Lab is a specialized department in Zain Hospital. It involves working in a clinical environment to diagnose and treat sleep-related disorders, especially sleep apnea, snoring and choking and breathing difficulties linked to the ENT conditions. So, dear viewers, let's go ahead and watch this report.